Hi, welcome back to the second episode of Hear the Hill. I'm here with,
I'm Jenica.
I'm Akshita.
and we're going to be talking about academics. Okay, so I have some questions prepped for you guys, and I guess the first one we can start with, what's the most memorable moment in school for you?
Memorable.
Yeah. So what is if you had to say something about the school that you really love?
Probably how interactive it is between what you learn and also between peers and your teachers. For me, the career path that I'm kind of going down is more artsy. I'm trying to do film, and in turn I've also taken theater to help aid that. And kind of with both paths, I've been able to really get a hands-on type of deal with my education. For theater, I've done tech, so I've literally had power tools in my hand, drills, saw blades, things like that, literally building sets. And then with film, I've literally had Sony cameras put in my hands. And this year I even went to New York because of this school. And so having those on-hands experiences has probably been the most memorable thing. And kind of with that, because you're so hands-on and you're collaborating with other people, getting that kind of I wouldn't say networking in a sense, but getting to know your peers and getting to kind of hear their stories and kind of learn from them while you're also teaching them in turn. That's probably been the most memorable thing for me.
Because our school is actually I was thinking about it more and more, and our school actually is pretty rich. We're not bad off, because the fact that we can afford all of this, and then field trips I've seen since freshman year, I've been seeing trips to Italy and Japan. And I'm how?
Oh, yeah.
How do you even? I don't even know.
I remember when it was opening night, it was 8th grade, and then they opened up the school, I remember my parents, when they walked in, they were like, "Is this your high school?"
This is where taxes are going.
Yeah, they're like, "This is your high school?" I was like, "Yeah." My dad was like, "Dude, this is probably nicer than my college." And I'm like, "Oh." So yeah, it's very nice. It's very nice.
What about you? Is there any good moments in school or?
So I moved here in sophomore year, so I was as soon as I came here, I didn't realize how many opportunities there truly were. But by the end of sophomore year, I had made so many friends. I had seen so many opportunities. There's so many clubs that I can just immerse myself with. So I can just easily. It felt like I did my freshman year as well. I did my freshman year abroad. So it was definitely so easy to just get into a community that I just felt at home already. And this year, it didn't even feel like I moved, because I feel like there just has been so many opportunities for myself to and there has been and the school is so accommodative, so even if there's something that's missing, it's not very hard to make a place for it. If there's a club missing, it's not you can't do it. It's you can take initiative and do it. There's just so many opportunities to get yourself out there and really take initiative for what you want to do.
Speaking of clubs, are you guys leaders of any, or did you start any clubs?
I know that I'm personally the vice president of our film club here at Rockville.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
that. With that, I've kind of been able to step up and kind of teach what I've learned throughout my kind of 3 years of learning film and getting a hands on that. It's really nice. Luckily, the schedule is very flexible, so I don't really have to, beat myself over dang it, I have to finish this tonight. And since that you're kind of around your kind of people in terms of interest, it's been really nice to kind of give them tips, and they go, "Oh, I never thought of that." And it's "Oh, cool. I'm so glad I could help you out in that department." So that's been nice with me.
Personally, I'm in HOSA. I'm assistant president this year.
Okay.
And this year, I started a research club for our STEM students. So we would our plan is to help them write out research papers like that they can publish in high school journals. So that's relatively new, but keep that in mind for next year, guys. But yeah, that and HOSA are the ones I hold leadership positions in.
So you started that club, and what's its name?
It's just called Rockville Research Club.
Okay, because for in I think sophomore year, I tried starting a club. It was like architecture. Dude, dude, I'm telling you right now, it was such a niche club, and it failed. It was horrible.
I remember that. Sam kept on being like, I can't wait for this to happen. Would you like to join? And I would be like, I love you so much. I don't think that's
backed away so slowly. No, but it was mostly my fault. But like, how was it easy for you to get members or like start? How'd it go?
So I initially wanted to start as soon as I came here, because for me it was a little bit of a hard transition from freshman and sophomore year, because I did live here until I was 13. Then we moved to India for 2 years. So the whole school experiences were different. So once I moved here, I really wanted to get ahead, because just so many kids here are so high achieving. They're out of this world. So as I was researching and like seeing what colleges really look for in students, I realized research has been an up and coming thing that they are looking for these days. So I thought, and I saw that so many students were having hard times finding mentors. And I personally do have a mentor outside of school who guides me with this stuff. So it has been it has not been easy, but it has really been a good experience for me, because I can learn from my mentor and help the students in this school. So when I came here first in sophomore year, I tried to get it up and started, but I really couldn't because the deadline had passed and I didn't know. I tried to talk to Miss Wilson, my counselor, but they said try next year. So I tried this year, we got it done, so now we're up and running. But we did encounter some problems, because writing a research paper is not easy. You need definitely more than 6 months. So this year we had an interest meeting. We have about 20 members right now, but we're going to advocate more at Fish Camp, because freshmen are very eager.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
but that's it. That's really it. But it's getting up and running. We have a lot of plans for next year.
I think somewhere you brought up that the students here are really high achieving. Guys, something about me, I don't know if you know this, I'm a doom scroller, and some things I don't like to do this, but you know how you just compare yourself to other people online, in school, and it's like, even test scores, like in math, I just suck at math, and it's just like, how do you deal with comparing yourself to people, or seeing how other people in our age group are just so, I guess, like, talented?
Yeah, my dad, he says you need peer pressure, because if you're in an environment where you are the best, then you think you're the best, and when you go on to another environment, you're not gonna know what kids around you are doing, so you'll not be as high achieving there. So like if you're in a group of like a school far away, and if they don't get much like education and stuff, and you're the best there, if you go to like a really good, like an Ivy League, you're not gonna be the best there. So my dad says you need to like be around high achieving students, and like just compare yourself, but don't like take it to your heart and use it as like motivation to do better. So like it's hard, but that's like kind of what I've been trying to do. Not like just take more like inspiration from these kids rather than like putting myself down. And that's kind of how I've been like pushing myself with this environment.
No, that's good. Do you agree?
I agree with that. I mean, yet again, I'm a very competitive person too. So for me, it's not necessarily like, I'm like, oh man, I'm so much worse than them. It's like, oh, they're better than me. What do I need to do to kind of get on their level? Is kind of like, that's just kind of my competitive side. But for me, like a lot of the time, I just kind of remember that everybody has a different path, you know? And I think that kind of comes with the territory of taking a like a more artsy degree, or like a more artsy like film like pathway, because like if my friend's like wanting to be a doctor, of course they're going to be better at math and science than me. Of course they're going to be taking 15 AP classes because they're trying to be a doctor.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like I don't need to have to worry about like anatomy class. I don't have to worry about physics. I don't have to, like, yes, are those valuable? Yes, but I don't have to worry about it as much. And so kind of like, yes, do your best. And for me, it's like, for sure, do your best. But it's kind of comparing like apples to oranges. You can't do that. They're going to be completely different no matter what you do. And it's not bad that they're different. It just means that one of them has to do different things than the other one to achieve what the goals that they need to do. And kind of, and kind of with that, it's like my successes should not be comparable to their successes, Yeah. Because they're completely different. And so that's kind of the mentality that I have of like, yes, it may suck that like, man, they got like a 1,600 on the SAT and I got like a 1,000 something, But at the end of the day, it's like, yes, but they're trying to do this in their life. I'm trying to do this in my life. And it shouldn't be a source of conflict for me because of that.
Okay, you guys are much better than me. Like I I cannot. Like if I see someone doing much better compared to like in sports or academics, I mean obviously sports because yeah. But it was just like it brings me down so much. I should probably try doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean I think is a big source of, and I think a lot of that may also come down to the fact of like, this is such a big time of our life where it's like, cool, you have to choose now, and this will determine your next 5 years or even your whole life, Yeah. And so I'm sure that comparison is also fueled by that kind of thing of go, 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 do it now, you have to do it now or else it's gonna be too late.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure that also kind of fuels that fire, but kind of realizing that, pathways are different and so are the steps to those pathways is, I think, helped me a lot, especially since that of freshman and sophomore year, I was very much of I have to get 4-point GPA. I'm going to take all APs and all honors, And this year I've actually dropped down to on-level classes where I can be a lot more successful and also give myself more time to be able to pursue what I really want to pursue, like film and whatnot. And that's been I think that's also why I've started to stop comparing myself so much, because kind of with you're saying I feel in on-level classes, the peer pressure isn't as high. Mm-hmm. At least that's how I felt when I dropped down. And so that's probably also helped me a little bit of giving myself breaks to be a person outside of just academics.
I see. Okay, I think you mentioned the SAT. And the SAT is all I've been thinking about. It's all I've been thinking about recently. And dude, it's not even funny because I signed up for the June one after this one, right? Because this one was whatever.
Oh,
I was honestly thinking about retaking it.
Right? So June 7th is my next SAT date. Mm-hmm. My mom has been on me every day.
Oh my god.
So how is when I know some kids my parents don't actually check my grades a lot. It's me who does it more often. And they only care about major tests like SATs or APs. How are your parents? Do you guys have that constant stress or expectations on you, or is it just
My parents are kind of in the middle. My dad is more closer with me based on my academics, and that's mostly because of the path I have chosen. Mm-hmm. And my high school years have been a little bit of a mess. So just because of that path, he's been a little on me. He doesn't want me to take more stress, but he just wants me to be aware. So even if I didn't take this path, he would do the same thing, but he knows that, because he himself, he came from a small village in India, but he's a VP of his company right now. So he knows that even if you don't do well in your education, you just need life skills, but not for me. And especially with the path I've taken. So basically my parents are oh, you need to go to a good college, you need to because it's going to help you rather than it's not going to be amazing. It's not going to set up your life forever, but it's definitely going to help you in finding a job, getting your master's and stuff, get into a good college. So they're a little pushy, but it's not you have to get a 4.0, because you have mental pressure, you have peer pressure, you have family problems. There's just so many things going on. Yeah. So they just try to keep me aware. It's not they need me to be perfect.
I think definitely when I was a little bit younger, they were more so oh my gosh, why do you have that grade? And I think half of it's because since I've done so well like in middle school and whatnot, they're kind of like, oh, we don't have to worry about that one because I have two other siblings, so they're like, oh, that one's fine. Let's focus on the other two. I think, but yes, they do try to. They emphasize a lot about like keeping good grades, you know, in that and all of that jazz. And although I think because I know in middle school and then freshman, sophomore year, because I was so intense about like, if I get a bad grade, it's all over for me. Because I was that intense, they kind of realized how much stress that was, and especially when they were very much like, hey, you should get an A. Like, B's are good. A's are better, though.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of, they sort of loosen the reins on that, and I think it's really helped me because of, like, you know, because like you were saying, like, there is no right way. And especially now in my junior year, they're, like, talking to me more about what pathways I can take. And they've been very open about, like, you know, if you don't, like, you can choose what college you want to go to. We'll support you, but you can also take like a trade school. You can also do military if you wanted to. Like, they're very open about discussing the different pathways, especially because I know a lot of my family had some very I wouldn't say unconventional, but not like, I feel the traditional pathways.
Like direct?
Yeah, like
college and then...
Yeah, like I know my dad, he did not do good at all in high school. He would get like 70s on everything. And then he ended up joining the military, got some experience, got out, went to college, and he ended up graduating like almost top of his class in nursing. And so it's kind of like, you know, when they kind of tell me things like that, it's a reminder that like there's always another path to take. And so luckily, kind of hearing their stories and how they dealt with their academics has helped me with that. They still really want me to get A's. They still, of course, they want me to do the best that I can. But luckily, they kind of loosen the reins in terms of how big or how tight that spectrum is on how good of what good is.
Okay, so I have like many questions now. Mm-hmm. So one of them is like recently, because you guys said you had Mr. Burks. And so I know the way Miss Murphy does her notes is much different than the way you guys do your notes. So how do you like study for classes? Because when I was in middle school and elementary, no studying, I was fine. And then I got to high school and then I started suffering. And it's like, how do you study?
I think I'm the worst person to ask that, if I'm being so honest with you. For me,
oh, wait, and you can cut it off anytime because
yeah, you can. Yes, I ramble so much. You can cut me off.
Yeah.
I know for me, I'm very bad at studying, but recently I've been trying to do a lot more like written notes and a lot of practice because that's just the way I learn. Mm-hmm. I learn by like doing it, not just. I can't just watch a video and be like, oh, now I learn about the American Revolution. I have to like physically do it. And so like little activities, even if it's just like, oh, Quizlet, we're gonna match the cards together. Helps mm-hmm. me kind of like, oh, okay, this is what I need to learn. This is kind of the connections. Boom, I got it now. That's what I need.
For me, it's a little different. The smaller activities, like, you know what I mean, like the peer decks, the notes, I feel like those don't really help me in the sense. I need to like, for me, the process is watch a video, read the textbook, practice questions. Like, that's the only thing that really helps me. I feel like, for me personally, I feel like the notes and stuff aren't direct. They're not very like helpful in the sense. So I just need to like physically be applying the concepts like for any class, even like science and anatomy. I need to be applying the concepts or else I'm gonna like flunk out on the test. I need to be doing like AP level questions. Because for me, like when I watch a video, when I do the notes, like I understand it at a high level, but I don't make any connections while doing it. Mm-hmm. But like for APs, everyone knows like you need to like go deeper, connect like this unit to this unit. So like I need to be like physically immersing myself in like that study environment to like actually succeed in that class or like any APs for that matter.
When I think now, because whenever anyone says go deeper, I think of AP Lang.
Yeah.
And I think you take AP Lang too, right?
I do take AP Lang.
I think it's the hardest AP
I believe
one
so
of the
too.
hardest for me.
I believe so too. And I honestly, the reason why I think that is the way it is simply because, at least this is how I always felt about English. I'm not gonna lie, I've always hated English. Always hated it. It's always been my best class though. Always hated it though. And I think the reason why I always hated it is that it was so formulaic in the sense of like thesis statement, body paragraph, paragraph, conclusion.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about these little symbols and...
Okay, whose phone is on?
I'm sorry. We're going to talk about these symbols and the meanings of it and oh, that's it. That's it. You did the structure perfect, you know? Mm-hmm. And with AP Lang, it kind of it literally flips everything I knew upside down because it's no longer formulaic. It's just, I remember Miss Ray, I love her. That's my AP Lang teacher. Like, when she was first talking to us about like, oh, this is the structure that you need to do. This is how you write all your statements and whatnot. I was like, oh my gosh, like, did I even learn English for the past 15 years of my life until now? And I think that's why it's so difficult, at least in that class, because it's just different.
What did you say? Oh my God. What did you say?
AP Lang?
Uh-huh.
I've always loved English and literature, but as soon as I started Lang, it's all been going, like the MCQs, perfect. Like high scores. And then I do writing. I think it's more like the lack of practice, I would say. But it's also like, I don't know how to explain it. I feel like a lot of the things we do in class are relevant, but not like exactly what the AP exam expects. And for me personally, I need to do what the AP exam is expecting, or else I'm not gonna get it. It's probably just a me problem. It's not like I'm flunking the class.
Yeah.
It's just like I know I could do better. What is going wrong? So yeah, that was high expectations, but just barely there, so.
Interesting. I feel the opposite way. I really like that class now, and I just think it's because of how it is set up, especially with prompts and stuff. Because I feel in so many of our other English classes, it's a lot of oh, you can just look at the text. It's just you just look into the text. With AP Lang, it's cool. You've learned all these things in your life. Now apply it to writing a written essay. You don't even have to look at a book. It's just, what do you know? And it's oh, okay, I guess, it's all on me now. And I don't know, I personally like it simply because of how dynamic it feels now. But I understand, especially
I need textbooks. I need to know what to expect.
especially with time writings. I get that.
Those are horrible. DVQs, any essay thing, I hate it. Okay, one of my last questions is on here, and it's group projects. Do we like them or do we not?
We like them with the right people.
It depends. It really depends.
Did you guys ever I guess, are you the type of people to carry group projects, or are you the type of people to end up kind of following whoever is automatically the leader? Or
for me, if no one steps up, I'm gonna step up. Because I want a good grade.
Yeah.
I know the material. I know we can do it. Let's get going. But if there's already someone who wants to step up, I'm not gonna take that away from them. I will give inputs. I will obviously be oh, maybe we should do this. But if they want to step up, please go ahead. I don't want to.
What about you, stage manager?
Oh gosh, yeah. I often find myself stepping up. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I talk a lot, and so they're oh, that guy seems smart. But I don't mind stepping up. I honestly don't mind. I just don't like it when people don't do their part, especially because if it's oh, hey, all you have to do is a paragraph. That's it. And then it's cool, I asked you one thing and you did not do it. And I also don't like the whole group punishment thing, especially when it comes to grading. Luckily, oh, thank goodness. a lot of teachers nowadays are doing like group projects, but highlight your portion. And I love that so much more because yes, it's important to work as a team, and yes, like however much each member produces helps the team, but at the same time you can't blame everybody if one person isn't pulling it's not pulling their weight. And so that's why I said it depends. I really like it in more dynamic settings, I guess, in a sense of like if it's something like extracurriculars, like if it is like a team like sport, or like for me it's like theater, you know, like it is all about working together, and so working on a team is fine in that context. But if it's like you're going to work on a team and you're going to do pre-calculus equations, and if your other team members don't do it, then you're going to get a bad grade, it's like, cool, I have to depend on them, and if they're not going to do the work, I have to depend on somebody who's unreliable.
Especially when they're like on their phones when we have the time to do it. They
Yes.
they said, oh, I'll go home and do it, and then by like midnight comes around and it's not done. Like, I don't want to do it right now either, but like it's
You
like,
have to.
when you're alone, you can hold yourself like accountable because that's fully your work. That's your punishment. But like if someone else, you're like pulling like the other 4 or 5 members of your group down. So like, please get it done.
Or I love the ones where you make a group chat. Or you make a group chat. You're like, guys, this is what I did. I outlined everything. Please fill in the gaps, and we'll be solid. And then the next day, you didn't tell me this. No, I did.
It was also in the rubric.
I did actually, and so did the teacher, and so did 20 other people. But you know what? It's okay. It's okay.
Small to the pain. I think I'm the type of person, like this year especially, I think I want to like, I've been trying to step up more if it's a group project or something, or I've been trying to like talk first. And one of the things that I tried to do this year was like to make more friends. Mm-hmm. And so since you moved here sophomore year, so you know how people have like these cliques of middle schoolers and they you know.
Graduate to like they go up together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How do you like? How did you fit in and make friends with knowing these groups are formed?
So when I moved here, like I immediately noticed that like people have friends they stay in classes and they have groups they like always stay in, and like. At this point in high school, they know who they want to be friends with. They don't really want to like include other people, but like they're happy to be friends with other people, but they don't really want them in their group. Mm-hmm. Right? So at that point, I had so many like friends, not like a group I can go out and hang out with. Mm-hmm. But by the end of the year, like I truly did like just migrate to like the people I did want to hang out with, and they did want me to be with them as well. So like this junior year, I've had so much of a better experience. Like especially like I feel like when like as people we tend to migrate to people we are similar to, and like with that like if you see one friend and then you kind of like make friends with their friends, so like they just kind of adopt you kind of. That's like what kind of happened to me. Like I was friends with this girl, and then without knowing they were friends, I was friends with this girl, and then we like would talk, and then I just become friends with their friends, and now like I just hang out with them all the time. So like that's kind of like how my experience was, but like what made it hard were definitely like the phones. Nobody wants to talk to you, like unless like you have to talk to them, like, and then again like having their own like friends they only want to talk to. So those things definitely made it hard, but like what happens for a reason. It's just high school, so
I kind of agree. I like what you said about like everybody kind of knows who they want to hang out with now, because I feel that's kind of been my little theme for this year. In middle school, like I did graduate with like a group of friends, and over time I slowly realized like, oh, like that person is probably not the best for me, or oh, that person clearly seems to hold some kind of resentment, or oh, that friend doesn't want to work on themselves even though I've tried to support them so many times. And so kind of like with that, you know, I definitely feel this year I like what you said about like, you know, you're starting to branch out more, and I feel that's kind of what I've been doing, like branching out, trying to get more people, and just I mean, striking up a conversation with like just going like, oh, I like your T-shirt, or like, oh, you listen to so and so band, that's cool. Like little things like that can get you so much farther than I think people realize. And I think just making another thing that I've kind of learned this year is like making a lot of effort outside of school, because unfortunately I'm the type of, in my mind, I'm like, oh, if you talk to me at lunch, like we're best friends. Like it's okay. Like it's okay if you don't talk to me outside of school. I think that we're chill, But some people don't see it that way, and so I know this year for sure I've been a lot more like active about like, oh, let's hang out, let's go out, and like let's make the extra effort of like getting to know each other more and more. Because I know that's something that's important to some people. Some people, they're not as much, but yeah, I like what you said about, people know who they want to hang out with more. And I think just being somebody who's open to hearing other people and being somebody who's open to kind of learning from others is the type of person that a lot of people will gravitate to, because they go, I can learn something from them, or I can teach them something. I would like to do that,
Yeah.
And what you said, like reaching out, I've like ever since I like moved, I've learned that I really have to, because I hate texting. And if you call me, I don't want to talk to you. But
That's
like
fair.
if we're on call, yeah, I'll have fun. But I'm not going to be like the one to like go ahead and be like, okay, if you want to hop on call, that's not me. Like when I moved here, I was like, yeah, I'm okay. I don't really want to talk to anyone. But like at this point, like we're growing. We need to be like, I would say, I say it's shameless. Like just going for what you want. Like you have to like do it at that point. You just have to be shameless, because like what else? Like it's your life. You need to like take control of it and just be like, okay, this is what I want. So
yeah, just taking that initiative.
Yeah.
Because especially, I mean, I feel, ironically, I think all of us here are probably on more of the introverted side when it comes to like reaching out or being the first one to reach out and talk to somebody. And I feel, especially like with texting and calling, like that is a big thing of like, oh, I don't want to text them, I don't want to seem too clingy. But at the same time, it's like, they're probably waiting on you to make the first move too,
Yeah.
And so like, I like what you said, just going for it is a big thing. I feel like if I didn't go for a lot of things, if I didn't just go, oh, I might as well try, I wouldn't have been in the position I am today,
Yeah, like same here. Like when I was like in 8th, 9th grade, I would be like, okay, I'll figure it out. Like I don't really want to like reach out to this person. But like being like shameless, like being like, I want this, like has like opened doors for so many opportunities for me. Like if I compare my 9th grade self and this year's self, I would say like actually like being like reaching out, like even if it's like 10 different people, like reaching out to all of them, I'll only get like, even out of 10 of them, even if I reach out for all 10, I might one of them might show up for me. Like that opportunity like maybe like something I can hold on for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So.
And like the reason why I started trying to reach out to and be shameless is because my brother used to tell me a lot. He's in college now, but when he was in high school, he would feel like left out, and he would be that like quiet kid that nobody really talked to, because he grew up in India for a bit. But he was born here, but he just didn't have like that, So every time that I see someone like quiet or just, I don't know, I just had the urge to reach out, but sometimes you're just too shy. I don't know, I'm struggling with that, but.
You want to be that person
that people can go to.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Is there anything else you want? Like, okay, last thing.
Okay.
If you could give any advice to, honestly, I guess anybody who's in high school who's struggling with anything, that's pretty vague. If you have any advice for high schoolers, what would you give, like, in general?
I would say
that's not don't procrastinate.
No,
guys, don't procrastinate.
I would say procrastination isn't bad though, because like some people work better under pressure because you have to get it done.
Yeah.
But but I would say just make use of the pressure you're feeling, because like it might you sound like, I felt like sometimes under the pressure I work not more efficiently, like I have like, oh my god, if I don't do it, what's gonna happen? So like from that I get like so many things. Like when I moved here, I keep talking about moving here, but so many people had so many things I did not even have, like I could not even think of. But like I was like, okay, I need to do it. So like don't take like the pressure, like don't internalize the pressure, just keep it around you, but don't like physically take it, mentally take it. Just be like, okay, this is what I need to do. Like, just don't compare yourself. Just use it to motivate you. That's what I would say.
I would just say go for it. I think we're so trapped in the idea of like, oh, like I want to do that, but what if I fail? Or, oh, I want to try this, but what if I fail? And I know that was a big mantra for me in like those very stressful, like my freshman and sophomore, or especially freshman year. I was so stuck in that mindset that I ended up missing so many good opportunities. And I think just going for it, like even if it's like, oh, like going for that AP class, why not? Going for that language, why not? Going for that club, why not, you know?
And that's all we have for today. So make sure to tune in to the next episode of Hear the Hill.